guests and Municipal Magistrate trainees of 2021 batch. A warm afternoon wishes to all. After 1 year of mandatory training, Municipal Magistrate trainees of 2021 batch are joining the judicial service of the state. The Honorable Chief Justice, the Honorable President of the Board of Governors of the Kerala Judicial Academy, Honorable Executive Chairman of the Kerala State Legal Service Authority have kindly consented to address the trainees on this valedictory hour of their training. Honorable Mr. Justice A.M. Babu, Director Academics, Kerala Judicial Academy, is most humbly invited to offer welcome to the participants.
The President of the meeting and the President of the Kerala Judicial Academy, Honorable Justice K. Vinod Chandran, the Chief Justice and the Patron of Chief of the Academy, Honorable Justice S. Manikumar, Judge of the High Court and Executive Chairman of the KELSA, Honorable Justice C.T. Ravikumar, the members of the Board of Governors of the Academy, Honorable Justice Sunil Thomas, Honorable Justice Anu Shivaraman, Honorable Justice Sadish Nainan, Honorable Justice V.J. Arun, other Honorable Judges of the High Court, former Judges of the High Court, Registrar General and other Registrars of the High Court, Director Sri Satyan, and other Directors of the Academy, other dignitaries, trainees, their family members, ladies and gentlemen. After a prolonged process of metamorphosis, the trainees of the latest batch are about to step into the corridors of the judiciary. They have already been appointed municipal magistrates by the Governor of Kerala. They will join duty within a couple of days. Dear trainees, you are entering the judicial service as officers at the lowest rung of the hierarchy, but you will be discharging the same duties as a judge at the highest rung of the hierarchy does. We strongly believe that the induction training has been a process of purification. Of course, you were a bit unlucky because the academy had no option but to go for virtual training programs almost throughout the whole period of training. May I remind you once again that judicial office is not a bed of roses. Your experience during the period of training will certainly help you to realize and understand the plight of litigants who come before you. The lawyers appearing before you are learned. You owe them respect. You are dealing with serious matters in your courts, but the seriousness should not prevent you from wearing a smile on your face. None can be told that he should never get angry, but none shall pass an order while he is angry. So may I turn to my duty. This meeting is presided over by the President of the Academy, Honorable Justice K. Vinod Chandran. His Lordship has occupied the seat of the President a month ago, and since then shows keen interest in the affairs and activities of the Academy. On behalf of everybody present physically as well as online, and also on my behalf, I welcome His Lordship. The Chief Justice, Honorable Justice S. Manikumar, is the Patron-in-Chief of the Academy. His Lordship's wealth of experience spanning over several years as a judge has been a source of strength and inspiration for us. His Lordship has taken keen interest in the activities of the Academy. I extend a warm welcome to my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, on behalf of the Academy, on my behalf, and everyone attending the meeting. Honorable Justice C.T. Ravikumar was the President of the Academy from 21/5/2019 to 4/5/2020. His Lordship has always been kind and considerate in matters relating to the Academy. I extend a hearty welcome to His Lordship on behalf of the Academy. The members of the Board of Governors of the Academy are honorable judges who have deep and vast experience in the field of law. Their Lordships have shown keen interest in every activity of the Academy and have found time to participate at all times possible. On behalf of all present physically and online, and on my behalf too, I extend a hearty welcome to Honorable Justice Sunil Thomas, Honorable Justice Anu Shivaraman, Honorable Justice Satish Nainan, and Honorable Justice V.G. Arun. The Honorable Judges of the High Court and former judges have been kind enough to grace this function by their presence online. I extend a warm welcome to all the Honorable Judges. I welcome the Director of the Academy, Sri K. Satyan. I wholeheartedly welcome the Registrar General, Registrar District Judiciary, and other Registrars of the High Court, Member Secretary KELSA, Director KSMCC, District Judge Ernakulam, other district judges and judicial officers who are online, deputy and assistant registrars of the academy, other officers and staff of the High Court and the academy. I take this opportunity to once again congratulate the trainees. I welcome them to this function, which is theirs. I welcome their family members. I welcome everyone else who are present and who are watching the program online. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. I now invite Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, most respected President of the Board of Governors of Kerala Judicial Academy, to deliver the presidential address.
Honorable the Chief Justice, Honorable Justice C.T. Ravi Kumar, my esteemed sisters and brothers online and including the Board of Governors, the dignitaries from the Judicial Academy, the Registry, the Subordinate Judiciary, and the trainees. A special mention for Justice A.M. Shafiq and Justice Hari Prasad, who were the former presidents during the training period, and also the numerous persons, including retired and serving judges, who spared their valuable time with the trainees. I came here just a month back to head the Judicial Academy, and I'm here for the ceremony. The Judicial Academy bids farewell to 37 of its trainees. The Subordinate Judiciary welcomes 37 new judges to its fold. Today we are celebrating both. The new judges have been put through a training regime of almost 1 year, more than you can expect in any other job. But sadly, it doesn't prepare them for the task ahead, because from day one, they would be deciding the destinies of men and matters. My advice to them would be, treat your courtroom as your classroom, and the lawyers more seasoned in law and also affairs of the world as your teachers. Unhesitatingly tap into the learning and experience of your seniors, which you have at every center. The legislature provides you guidance with laws, and the higher judiciary has a wealth of precedents for you. The executive is at your beck and call. I say beck and call because the Constitution gives a special sanctity to your orders, which every officer of the executive respects and ought to respect. But a word of caution here. They are not your servants. The executive, including the police, are not in your service, nor are they to provide for worldly comforts for you. As you are, they are in the service of the state and are the servants of the citizenry. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot treat them badly. Give them respect, as they are also a part of the judicial delivery system. Please bear this caution in your minds, because I say from immediate experiences we have had with the contact of judicial officers. You are lucky insofar as you have been selected from numerous persons. But the bottom line is that it is your choice to take up the mantle of a judge. The state has not compelled you, nor its public, nor the public has compelled you to take up the mantle of a judge. Individual compulsions may differ, but however, it is your choice. The state pays you well and also gives you a number of perks. It expects you to deliver judiciously and also with promptitude. I had been in an interview recently where we asked a question to all of the contestants as to why they chose this profession of a judge. The stock answer was that it is a divine job. Definitely, it is divine insofar as the work is concerned, because you decide the fate of others while you have no control over your own fate. However, that does not confer any divinity on you, and you are not divinity personified. Follow the law and the conscience. When you step on another man's toe, which you are bound to do with every order you make, ensure that you do it for just cause. The Academy wishes you well and expects the best from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lordship. Honorable Mr. Justice S. Manikumar, the Chief Justice, High Court of Kerala, and the Patron in Chief of the Kerala Judicial Academy is most humbly invited to deliver the valedictory address.
Honorable Brother Justice Vinod Chandran, President, Board of Governors, Kerala Judicial Academy. Honorable Brother Justice C.T. Ravikumar. Honorable Justices Shafiq and Hari Prasad, online. Good afternoon to you, sir. May I just see them online? I think if it is available. Justice Shafiq and Justice Hari Prasad? No. Okay. My esteemed brother and sister judges, Honorable Justice A. M. Babu, Director, Academics, Kerala Judicial Academy, Registrar General and other registrars of the High Court, Directors and staff of the Kerala Judicial Academy, trainee judicial officers, ladies and gentlemen. A new batch of groomed judicial officers is being inducted to the District Judiciary of State of Kerala for dispensation of justice. Today, 37 district munsif and magistrates trainees have successfully completed the training, conducted in 3 phases, appointed to the judicial service. It's heartening to note that out of 37 officers, 23 are women. So I'm sure in future, I think both the district judiciary and the higher judiciary in state of Kerala will be predominantly by women judges, which one of the demands made by the Advocates Association president. I'm very happy to know that considering the prevailing situation consequent to the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, academic sessions have been conducted in virtual mode. I'm told that the trainees underwent training in civil and criminal matters for more than 5 months. As part of the training, trainees have visited the Taluk police stations and forest offices. I'm further informed that though they could not visit the medical college, medico-legal institute, forensic sciences laboratory, and other such places, Academy had arranged online training by the experts from the forensic sciences laboratory, Thiruvananthapuram. As you are aware that I was also a member of the Academy for some time and later on became the president of the Tamil Nadu State Judicial Academy. The main objective of the training program is to prepare the trainees for performing their duties and functions when they assume office. In addition to this, it is also the duty and responsibility of the judicial academies to equip the newly recruited judicial officers with command of laws, procedures, nuances in judging, and to educate them on matters relating to knowledge and skills useful for discharge of the judicial work. Academy also aims to inculcate the right kind of values, attitudes, and perspectives desirable for undertaking judicial functions. Rendering justice in its larger sense is giving every person his due, said Aristotle. A judge renders justice by adjudicating disputes and compliance in accordance with law. He also renders justice by deciding the cases speedily and effectively after hearing. Here at this juncture, I would like to quote an important message by a former Chief Justice of India as to the role of a judge in All India Judges Association versus Union of India. I just read the message of the Chief Justice of India. The trial judge is the kingpin in hierarchical system of administration of justice. He directly comes into contact with the litigant during the proceedings in court. On him lies the responsibility of building up the case appropriately, and on his understanding of the matter, the cause of justice is first answered. The personalities, knowledge, judicial restraint, capacity to maintain dignity, or the additional aspects which go into making the court's functioning useful. This was the decision rendered in 1992, 1 SCC 119. But subsequently, when the Honorable Chief Justices held a conference in 1999, they adopted a principle which is otherwise called as restatement of values of judicial life. Though they are addressed to the judges of the high courts, the principle underlying them apply to district judiciary as well. I would like to draw the attention of the audience as well as to the newly inducted judicial officers, the great values of judicial life. Every judge must at all times be conscious that he is under the public gaze, and there should be no act or omission by him which is unbecoming of the office he occupies. The behavior and conduct of judges must reaffirm the people's faith in the impartiality of the judiciary. Justice must not merely be done, but must also be seen to be done. Prior to your selection and appointment, most of you would have been practicing as an advocate in the district judiciary or even in the high court. While practicing as an advocate, if you have noticed some shortcomings or failure on the part of the presiding officers, then this is the time when you have to mend your ways. Please do not try to repeat with what you have experienced earlier with the presiding officers. Speaking on the inaugural day of the training of newly recruited district magistrates on 29/6/2020, with humility, I said this, I just want to reproduce at this juncture also. Perception of judiciary in the mind of an ordinary citizen rests in the working of the judiciary. Public trust and confidence are more important in justice delivery system. Holding judicial office is not a government servant, but service to the society. Judicial position confers powers, duties, and responsibilities to the public. It's always felt that every one of us, I think, would have experienced. Young blood is always energetic, active, and innovative. But let us not be swayed with the power and authority the judicial office commands. On the other hand, we should always remember our duties and responsibilities. Let me put it in a nutshell what the judicial office is required. Judge Socrates said 4 things are required for a judge: to hear courteously, to answer wisely, to consider soberly, and to decide impartially. What I was said on 29/6/2020, I reiterate today also. During our experience as judges for quite some time, 10 years or whatever it is, depending upon the service they have put in, both judicial district judges as well as the Honorable High Court judges who are present here, I thought that I should give some few tips for the beginners. This is already there, but again, I would like to reiterate today. 1, whenever you come across a statute, rule, or regulation, read the preamble, the object of the act, then you will understand the reasons for the enactment. As an advocate, when I was practicing, my first test to myself is the client will give you facts, but who has to find the law? So the case has got both facts and law, and it is a duty of the lawyer to find the law. Same thing I would request the learned judges, the newly recruited justices and judicial officers. If a party or an advocate is not in a position to find out the law, there is a duty cast on you to find out the law and apply to the facts of the case and accordingly decide. Now, go to the tips, as I say, read the provisions more than once, read the judgment cited, not only for the purpose of understanding the law laid down, but for the reasoning in the judgment. This is more important. Many a times I would repeat the judgment in different ways, X said, Y said, etc. But when you read once in again and again, you will understand the mind of the judge as to how to put it. Each judge puts the principles of law in a different manner. Therefore, even if repeatedly, I think if they produce the same line of judgments, please kindly go through, you will understand as to how, from the heart of the judge, how the words are used for the purpose of a case and decision. Reasons are the heartbeat of any decision. Whenever senior lawyers address the court, interact with them for enlightening on the subject. We learn a lot from the senior counsel. I just recollect one incident when one of the judges in the Madras High Court, Justice Kalifullah, who became a judge of the Supreme Court, he said, post questions for your own understanding and clarification. Let the lawyer even think, what is even the simple point the judge has not understood. Doesn't matter. Unless and until you get yourselves completely clarified on law, you can pose him questions and thereafter you can decide. That's why I said it is for enlightening from a senior counsel. Nothing wrong in asking him questions and get that enlightened. Do not hesitate to discuss with senior judges for clarity. Did I say that you have to ultimately take independent decision, that just don't go by the decision of your senior judge. Don't get influenced by the senior judge. This is again for understanding as to what the law is. Read the journals, monthly journals for update. Bangalore Code of Conduct is a guide for all the judges in the country. Please read it. The most important thing we have to now preserve is health and some time with your family members. Most of us as lawyers would not have spent considerable time with the family and would not have even taken care of our health. Now today, your interaction will be less. You will independence to certain extent will be restricted and having movement outside, talking to lawyers, etc. But more important is that your family and health. Spend some time, and most of us are blamed for that. I wouldn't say the most powerful at home for not spending much of time with them. But when you grow older, you realize, yes, you pay more interest to your profession, occupation, but spend less time to your family. That you will realize when you are far off from your family. Now, of the challenges made to the Indian judicial system, you see, most of us, after being inducted to the higher judiciary as High Court judges, I think everybody would have had this particular program at the Judicial Academy, Bhopal. Challenge to the Indian judicial system, isn't it? So one of the challenges to the Indian judicial system now we have facing is COVID pandemic. As you say, this particular COVID-19 has affected all the systems in the country, and more particularly the Indian judicial system as well. When access to justice is denied, and that is being rectified through video conferencing and wherever it is available. So in that background, I would only state that the technology and communicational advances have offered us tremendous opportunities to make courts and justice system more accessible, transparent, and effective. In the coming years, if I may say so, there may be a radical transition in the traditional system of filing of cases, arguments, hearing, etc., to the virtual mode. It emphasizes the need to be equipped and familiarized with all technological advancement in the justice delivery system. Judiciary is considered as a last interpreter of the Constitution of India and thus sentinel at queue to defend the constitutional mandates, promises, and aspirations of the people. I would like to quote former Chief Justice Mr. R.C. Lagoti, who said thus: "The seekers of justice approach the courts of justice with pain and anguish in their hearts on having faced legal problems and having suffered physically and psychologically. They do not take law into their own hands as they believe that they would get justice from the courts. We owe an obligation to them to deliver quick and inexpensive justice, shorn of complexities of procedure." John Marshall said, "The power of judiciary lies not in deciding cases, not in imposing sentences, not in punishing for contempt, but in trust, faith, and confidence of the common man." I can say from my experience that Kerala District Judiciary is one of the best in the country. Not that I'm flattering the district judiciary, because as judge for nearly 13 years in the Madras High Court, I have attended many conferences and seminars. I can find that two states, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala, have also performed very well in all the district activities with the lesser support from the government, more particularly Kerala, financial support. District judiciary in Kerala has performed very well. We have been sending periodical reports to the Supreme Court of India as to how we are functioning during this pandemic period. I was very satisfied, and so also I believe the Supreme Court of India. Now, as a patron of Kerala Judicial Academy, I'm extremely privileged to acknowledge the exceptional training given to the judicial officers of the state during this difficult time, particularly the President and the Board of Governors, Mr. Justice Hari Prasad, Mr. Justice Shafiq, and Mr. Justice Hari Prasad, followed by the President of the Board of Directors, Board of Governors, Mr. Justice Vinod Chandran, and the team of judges. I'm also thankful to the directors and the deputy directors and other staff of this Kerala Judicial Academy to have continued programs on the virtual mode, taken the judicial officers to the confidence that they have been given the proper training for this program. I hope the one-year training induction program arranged by Kerala Judicial Academy in 3 phases would be of immense help to all the district munsifs and magistrates at the lower courts also. Lastly, I thank Honorable Justice Babu, the Director Academics, Kerala Judicial Academy, for taking this academy to higher heights by continuous training for the newly recruited district munsifs and magistrates. I wholeheartedly wish and extend my best wishes to all the judicial officers who have been trained. Thank you very much for the President of the Board of Governors, Kerala Judicial Academy, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Milord, for your insightful words. I now invite Honorable Mr. Justice C.T. Ravi Kumar, Judge High Court of Kerala, Executive Chairman, Kerala State Legal Service Authority, and former President of the Board of Governors of Kerala Judicial Academy to deliver the keynote address.
Honorable the Chief Justice, Sri S. Manikumar, the President of the Academy is Justice Vinod Chandran, Sister and other judges, or the members of the Board of Governors, and one and all who are listening me. After an erudite and educating speech by Justice Vinod Chandran and Honorable the Chief Justice, I do not know what kind of speech I should deliver as a keynote address. Certainly, I do not want to make any advices or a speech in that manner. Still, my short speech may partake the character of that. And of course, a sound of caution. This is because, keeping in mind certain unfortunate things that happened, and you might have seen those things in social media. When at a younger age, you are inducted to such a high post, there's a chance of a particular character creeping in you, nothing but megalomania. If that creeps, definitely you are losing your character. Having succeeded in the challenge that is a competition with others and earning a berth in judiciary, don't be under the impression that, yes, I have achieved everything. Your real challenge, it starts only after assuming charge as a judicial officer. You will be judged only from that moment onwards. The simple thing is that try to be and not try to be, ensure that you are impartial. And then study the case which is before you. And then only apply the law. Because laws can be applied only to the facts of a case. And if you could stick on to these simple things, I'm sure that you can be a successful judicial officer. I do not know whether I should give an example of something which the untoward incident, or rather unfortunate incident, occurred. Understand that before you, Lions of the Bar, very experienced lawyers will appear. Don't take an attitude that just after leaving your college, you could achieve this. And those persons, even after spending years and years at the bar, could not achieve this. If such a kind of attitude, if you are taking, then also you will fail in your duties. As Justice Vinod Chandran said, treat them as your teachers. I don't say that blindly follow them. Listen them carefully, and then after going through the cases before you, apply the correct law, and then before pronouncing the judgment, make it a point, read it again and again, and ensure that you have stated the facts, applied the law correctly, and if you can do that, you can be a successful judicial officer. I wish all success to each and every one of you. Thank you, Jai.
Thank you, Lordship. As the program is coming to a close, it is time to be thankful. I now invite the most respected Director of Kerala Judicial Academy, Sri K. Satyan, to deliver the vote of thanks. The Honorable Chief Justice, Justice S. Manikumar, Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, President of the function, Honorable Mr. Justice C.T. Ravikumar, Executive Chairman, KELSA, Honorable Board of Governors, our most valuable invited guests, online and offline, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, everyone. It's 1 year since 37 municipal magistrate trainees of 2020 and 2021 batch commenced their journey, fighting against the odds to join the judicial service. They will successfully complete the mandatory 1-year training tomorrow and take charge at the respective stations the day after. This is made possible only because of the timely decisions taken by the Honorable Chief Justice and other Honorable Judges of the High Court, and also due to the efforts taken by the Registry of the High Court. This is an unique batch. The induction training had several positives and negatives. The positives were many. The officers have completed the training as per schedule in accordance with the current trend of functioning of the judicial system. They have attended the academic sessions online, except for about 3 weeks when they were in the academy campus. The negatives, of course, only time will tell. I take this opportunity to congratulate the municipal magistrates and urge them to work hard with utmost dedication and commitment. I wish them a successful career. Once a great man said, I quote, "Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it," unquote. Today, I take this opportunity to put all my gratitudes in the form of words. Concluding the ceremony, first and foremost, I would like to express sincere gratitude to the Honorable Chief Justice, High Court of Kerala, and Patron-in-Chief, Kerala Judicial Academy, Justice S. Manikumar, who has taken keen interest in the training programs of the Academy. We have been fortunate to have the presence of the Honorable Chief Justice in this valedictory function. Sir, the valedictory address and valuable practical tips has inspired the trainee officers. Thank you, my lord. We must express sincere thanks to Honorable Mr. Justice C.T. Ravikumar, Executive Chairman, KELSA, and former President of the Board of Governors of the Kerala Judicial Academy, for the words of caution and encouraging the municipal magistrate trainees. Thank you, my lord. We sincerely thank Honorable Mr. Justice K. Vinod Chandran, the President of the Board of Governors of the Kerala Judicial Academy, for the valuable guidance and leadership provided for the training programs and also to organize this function in a befitting manner. Thank you, my lord, for the words of advice to the trainees. We are grateful to Honorable Mr. Justice Sunil Thomas, Honorable Mrs. Justice Anu Shivaraman, Honorable Mr. Justice Satish Nainan, Honorable Mr. Justice V.G. Arun, the Board of Governors of the Kerala Judicial Academy, and express sincere thanks to them for the support and guidance given for the training programs. We register our profound thanks and gratitude to the Honorable Judges of the High Court, Honorable Judges of the High Court and former Judges of the High Court for joining this valedictory function online and for the support provided by them to the training programs. The induction training program for the Municipal Magistrates 2021 batch was planned and organized under the guidance of Honorable Mr. Justice A.M. Shafiq and Honorable Mr. Justice A. Hari Prasad, former presidents of the Board of Governors of the Academy. We express sincere thanks and gratitude to them who are with us online. We would like to acknowledge our gratitude to Mrs. Sophie Thomas, Registrar General, Sri P.G. Ajit Kumar, Registrar District Judiciary, all the judicial officers working in the registry, KELSA and ADR Center, and other registrars of the High Court for their support. Teamwork divides the task and multiplies the success. The academic sessions were mainly handled by the directors of the Academy under the able guidance of Honorable Mr. Justice A.M. Babu, Director Academics. We have received some tremendous help from the Honorable Judges of the High Court and former Judges of the High Court. The trainees were actually lucky to listen to Honorable Mr. Justice Sunil Thomas and Honorable Mr. Justice Raja Vijayaraghavan during their induction training. Likewise, Honorable Mr. Justice Payas C. Kuriakos, former Chief Justice Sikkim, High Court of Sikkim,
Honorable Mr. Justice V. Ram Kumar and Honorable Mr. Justice N.K. Balakrishnan, former judges of High Court of Kerala, also had addressed them and guided them. We remember them with gratitude on this occasion. Many thanks to Babu sir and all the directors who trained the trainees during the induction training. Special mention here about the services rendered by the former additional director Srimati C.S. Sudha, who is now the principal DJ Ernakulam. Former deputy director Sri G. Rajesh, additional district judge Palakkad, and former assistant director Sri M.K. Ganesh, principal subjects to show. Thanks to them also. I take this opportunity to express our gratitude to all the guest faculties. The principal district judges, CJMs, and all the judicial officers have guided the trainees during their court training. We take this opportunity to thank them all. We express sincere thanks to the families of the municipal magistrate trainees, other judicial officers who have joined us through online. Many thanks to the staff and officers of the High Court and the Kerala Judicial Academy. Sincere thanks to the PRO and his team and IT section for making necessary arrangements for this function. We thank you for being with us this evening. It has been a great pleasure. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. We have come to the end of the program. Let us stand in respect for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे